All right, Gravel Throat Reviews here, and today I have an album review for you of the wonderful new EP, Modular Consciousness by Violet Cold. Violet Cold is a project that I have admired for several years now, and with every release and redirection, I find myself becoming more and more enamored with the sound. Violet Cold is a one-man project, and that one man is Mr. Enim Golyev, who is based out of Baku, Azerbaijan, which is a small country that is bordered by the Caspian Sea, Russia, Iran, Armenia, and Georgia. Azerbaijan is also the home of my favorite vaporwave artist, Begotten, and the fantastic YouTube channel Faraway Village that uploads videos of a couple that cooks a variety of ethnic dishes in the scenic mountainous countryside. There are no words, just beautiful scenery and cooking, and it's very relaxing to watch. But getting back to this topic at hand, which is the amazing new EP by Violet Cold entitled Modular Consciousness. Modular Consciousness, it was released last month on the 9th of February by La Petite Mort Productions. The mix of genres on this EP create a sound that is ethereal, hopeful, holistic, and emotional. There are elements of Blackgaze, post-rock, synthwave, and psychedelic trance. The ethereal and sometimes pitched vocal samples are beautifully heart-wrenching, uplifting, and accessible. And this accessibility is contrasted with these bone-chilling black metal-inspired screams that slice through the bright heavenly chords to complete the yin and the yang. The first song on the Modular Consciousness EP is Digital Mirage, and it starts with some sparkling synth arpeggios that create tension and set the scene in a distant cosmic realm that feels futuristic and bountiful. The beautiful strings in the background rise slowly into the foggy atmosphere alongside the bright and transcendent synth keys. The thin ribbon-like bass provides a supporting balance that fills out the lower to the mid-range sonic landscape. The middle portion of the track crescendos nicely as Emin's high-range, tortured vocals crest over the waves of synth and programmed drums. The vocal samples repeat the phrase, always wanting more, which may be a criticism of the rising levels of material greed that we see in the world today, especially in the United States. The end of the track is a beautifully layered synthwave passage that is bright and emotional. The second track is Nightfall, and it starts with some synth bass and some shiny reverbed bells. The refrain is this ethereal vocal passage that talks about wanting to fly away from here. There is a feeling that the protagonist is exhausted by the ignorance of the world and is looking to escape. The vocalist notes the infinite skies that surround humanity and how they are full of possibility. The synth chords are epic, psychedelic, and they paint an otherworldly cosmic audioscape that feels like the soundtrack to a sci-fi movie where the good guys are victorious. The third song on the EP is titled Noise Anthem, and it begins with some walls of looming bass up against the bright and repetitive synth arp. The pads in the background are lush and nostalgic. The vocals are heavenly and healing. The synth layers in the midsection create tension as the progression builds. And now that we're in the middle of the EP, it feels like a montage of a cosmic fantasy where a futuristic character is traveling a great distance to defend against oppressive injustice. And moving on to the fourth track entitled Punk Cake, which is a pretty weird name for a song like this, but regardless, the track kicks off with another lush, stuttering arpeggios paired with some soft, distant vocals that are filtered into the midground. The snare sounds crisp and short, allowing plenty of room for other percussion sounds. The synth rhythm carries these big shimmering walls of atmosphere that feel like traveling through empty space at light speed. The pitched vocals provide emotion and a prideful nostalgia that feels like a distant memory of a personal achievement. Emin's vocals near the end feel very pained and panicked. Again, this is a great contrast between ugliness and beauty, and at this point is solidified as the signature sound of the Modular Consciousness EP. The fifth and final track is called Afterglow, and it begins with some distant strings that feel despondent and bleak. There is some distorted synths that creep in as the rest of the instrumentation fades away. Then suddenly the distortion stops, and we're left with this beautiful set of clean synth chords that feel like the sunrise after a very intense and soul-cleansing psychedelic experience. After a short pause, the percussion comes back in with some fluttering hi-hats and some rhythmic perks. The ethereal chords are bright, vivid, and they feel like the conclusion to a long and arduous journey across the vastness of space. Finally, the chords melt away and we are left with these beautiful reverb piano keys that kind of lay you back down into your bed safe and sound as the dreams dissolve into the back of your mind and you wake up to a familiar place of comfort, security, warmth, and bliss. In conclusion, I feel like this album is the perfect length. There is a story that is told, but it doesn't overstay its welcome or burn you out with lengthy, unnecessary ambient pieces. The synths are just beautiful and heavenly and layered with angelic pads that are soothing and dramatic. There is a lot less guitars on this album than the typical Violet Cold album, and I'm totally okay with that. This is just a great departure from the sometimes overly busy compositions of previous albums like Noir Kid or Empire of Love. And that's not to say that I don't like these albums, because I definitely do, especially the themes of acceptance and kindness on the album Empire of Love, which bravely displays a rainbow flag juxtaposed by the crescent moon symbol of the Islamic religion. I admire the guts it takes to put out an album like this, because some places in this region of the world, like Iran, homosexuality is considered a crime that is punished by death. Massive respect to Enim Golyev. Massive shout out to Violet Cold. I love this album. It's truly an amazing release, and I hope lots of other people listen and enjoy this work like I did. If I was pressed to make one criticism of this album, it would be that, to me, there is a little more room for experimentation in the drumming, maybe some odd time signatures or some more interesting tom fills, or maybe some impact kicks or impact snares that create more explosive transitions. But that's just my personal opinion, of course. So I absolutely love this album. It's definitely going to be on my list of top albums of the year this year. And with that being said, I want to officially give this album a solid 9 out of 10. It is a phenomenal EP, definitely worthy of your time. Check out Violet Cold on Bandcamp, Instagram, and any other streaming platform as well. Enim Golyev has a Patreon account that can be found on his Bandcamp page. Consider making a small donation if you love this album, because we definitely need more people like him in this world being creative. I have some Gravel Throat Reviews t-shirts like this one I'm wearing here for sale. And for the next 48 hours, I will donate 100% of the proceeds to Enim's Patreon to support the efforts of this one-of-a-kind artist. So shoot me a DM if you want to get involved in that way, or you can just go to his Bandcamp page and buy some merch directly from him. That's a great way to go about supporting him as well. But thank you for your time. Please hit the like button if you can. Go check out the Modular Consciousness EP by Violet Cold and let me know how you feel about it. Thank you so much for your time today. I appreciate you being here to the end. This is Gravel Throat Reviews. I will see you on the next one. Peace.